Good afternoon. Hi, guys, and fellow members of the Long Island Limousine Association. I just wanted to take you through a scenario and make sure you understand exactly what our allegiance and association with the taxi industry on Long Island has been. It seems to be that there's a lot of confusion and a lot of people don't understand what our relationship was or what we were trying to have happen. I had conversations with two of the board members of the Long Island Limousine Association, and after they spoke to me, said, Doug, I have a whole completely different opinion on it now. One of our fellow board members actually invited me to lunch to meet Larry Blessinger, who's one of the largest taxi cab operators on Long Island. He said that he had a plan to combat the latest TNC situation that we were faced with on Long Island. So I went to meet him. We had a very nice lunch. Never met the guy before, didn't know anything about him, certainly had no relationship with him at all. And he explained to me that he had this game plan that he was going to direct mail legislators packages of information. They were going to do a social media campaign, and he was going to hire attorneys to do different things to try and combat the upcoming TNC situation on Long Island. Kind of like a moving battleground, as things happen, it would unfold. So he says to me, I've got $9,000 a month committed from the different taxi cab companies, and we formed this little allegiance. And he says, how about maybe you limousine guys want to jump in? If we had more funding, we could do more stuff and maybe help the fight. So I said, what'd you have in mind? And he said, well, we could really use another $2,000 a month, and that would push us over the amount that we needed, and it would be helpful to give us some additional social media campaigns that would target legislators and people in charge in the government to let them know why we felt TNCs were unsafe and unfair. So I said, all right, it sounds interesting to me. Let me go back to my board and let me discuss it with them and let me see what I can, get accomplished, and we'll see if we're in. So I'm thinking to myself after I left the lunch, the board and the Long Island Limousine Association has done absolutely nothing to combat the TNC oncoming situation that was happening in New York. We have skated around it and not had Uber and Lyft operating on Long Island. The only operators we had were the illegal operators who were New York City operators who would drop from New York City and come to Long Island and hack some rides out on Long Island. But there were no TNCs operating on Long Island, legally at least. And I've been kind of following the TNC saga through the country, through the NLA, watching their campaigns and what they have done. They committed, I think it's $40,000 a month to the TNC battle. They've done it with doubling of the dues. They spent most of their war chest of money fighting, and they've had successes in different cities. There's no question about it that there are cities in New York that are no longer operating with Uber and Lyft. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we've done nothing, and this guy who has like 400 taxi cabs and political connections really has a lot of skin in the game, and that's the kind of guy that I think we'd want to be associated with, because he's going to have the right connections and know how to wage a battle, and maybe it would be a good idea. So I came back to the board, this is about 3-4 months ago, discussed it with the board that they were looking for $2,000 a month for the next 3 months. And my thought process was that we've done absolutely nothing, and rather than just roll over on our backs and let us just get knocked down by it, let's try and wage a little battle. And it wasn't a huge part of our budget, wasn't a huge part of our funds. I think at the time we had about $60,000 or $70,000 in the bank at that point. We did not violate any of the rules. I can tell you that the president was adamantly against it, no question about it, and I don't really remember who, but one other board member told me yesterday that they were against it too. But we took a vote, and the vote won, and the vote passed. We didn't violate any rules of the existing bylaws, which can be found on the website. The board has the free right to use the membership money for whatever they see fit in protection and betterment of the association and the industry and the members. We didn't spend it on drinking and gambling. We spent it on a formal plan to combat TNCs. And there's no question about it that the taxi cabs have spent tons and tons of money fighting. I'm in the trenches with them every day doing stuff. There's no doubt about it. Has it been a successful campaign? I would say it's a battle. And we always knew that TNCs would launch in July, and we'd have to keep fighting to take them down. There is a court case going to take place on July 22nd. There is a chance that we're going to get a temporary restraining order, which I think it would be terrific. Are we going to make them go away? I don't necessarily know. But you know what? I certainly don't want to sit around and just wait and see if we can, what happens to our business when we can be out there fighting in some way and make it more difficult for them to operate at the least. Anyway, getting back to our financial commitment, we made a financial commitment to the taxis. We agreed that we would pay $2,000 a month for 3 months. The old administration of the Long Island Limousine Association has already sent the first $2,000. I believe, unless somebody can prove me wrong, there is no reason why the additional $4,000 is not due and overdue at this point to the taxis. We voted on it. We did it legally. We didn't do anything wrong. We all agreed to it. And in addition, Bill Girl, because he didn't like the idea, sent an email out to the members. And I said this in an email before. Over 90% of the people who responded to the email voted yes, spend the money. When I sent emails out to the members about continuing the fight, everybody said, let's keep fighting. I think we should still fight. I think we should still keep the battle up. I think we should pump more money into it, but that's just my opinion. I don't need another 20,000 livery cars on the road competing for my business, especially when they can do it unlicensed, uninsured. As far as the success of the campaign, I can't really tell you if it's successful or not. I don't really know how the end is going to go, but I believe we should continue to fight. As far as not paying them, it's no different than if I said to you, hey, cover this wedding for me, and then I told you on Monday that the people broke up, and I said, you know what, we're not paying you. We're business people. We made a deal. It was a deal on a handshake. I believe that we should pay the money, and we should pay it swiftly and right away. That's just my opinion, and I'm sure there are many other board members that feel the same way. And it's only $4,000 left in the balance. We're business people. If we made a mistake, we have to own up to it. Did we do something illegitimately or something wrong? Absolutely not. And I'll be more than happy to help the association earn the $4,000 back that we spent. Just my thoughts. I hope that you see this in a positive light. Any questions, call me on my cell, 516-233-7272. Thanks. Have a great day.